How is it going, everybody? It is DeMarco here with a Bethesda Game Studios discussion video, and today we are going over the topic of vehicles. Is it necessary, not just a cool step, but a necessary step in order to bring Bethesda Game Studios into the future, or maybe into the modern age by the time some of these games release? Let's get into it. Vehicles in Bethesda games, they've been anticipated for quite a while now, haven't they? We've seen a number of mods attempt to add these types of functionality into both Elder Scrolls and Fallout titles. In Skyrim, there were a few boat mods, I think, that attempted to give the ability to sail a boat around, and in Fallout, we had a number of vehicles, not just with Fallout 4, but in New Vegas and 3 as well. I think there were motorcycle mods, there were trucks, there were vans. In fact, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that we saw some cars in Skyrim. Yeah, definitely saw cars in Skyrim. But we're yet to see this function as vanilla content for a Bethesda Game Studios game. And there's a solid reason as to why, which I want to start off with first. For many of you watching, you might be wondering exactly why it hasn't been done in the past. Why do we only get horses in Skyrim but nothing more? And why do they only move at the speed that they do? And the primary reason is because the world can't load that fast. The world cannot actually load faster than the horses move in Skyrim. In other words, if you were to drive a car through Skyrim, you'd be forced with the game stuttering, pausing, loading, buffering the world, only to maybe move for about 3 more seconds before it has to do that again. And sometimes this can take a couple seconds and really take you out of the experience. This is the same reason why all the horses move at the speed that they do. The developers had to find a balance between what the game can load versus how fast the player can move. Thankfully, with next generation consoles, this barrier will be largely pushed back as a result of the SSDs that will be part of the consoles. They have faster reads, they have faster write speeds, and what that means is the games can load more quickly, which means you can travel faster than the sluggish Skyrim horses, and that is pretty exciting. So with the use and the help of the faster read and write speeds of SSDs, you now have the framework in place to load your world faster, which means that barrier is taken down. But are vehicles in Bethesda games crucial to the experience? Not just cool, but will not having access to a sailable boat in Elder Scrolls 6 or a pilotable star cruiser in Starfield ruin the experience? Naturally, this answer will depend on you. What I will say is that having some form of vehicular transportation does seem like it should be the natural evolution for Bethesda games. To use Elder Scrolls as an example, with each new entry we've seen a myriad of changes that work to evolve the series in new directions. I mean, you can ride bloody dragons in Skyrim. I know it's not the most polished mechanic in the game, but it's totally possible. Look back at a game like Morrowind. You would laugh if somebody brought up the possibility of riding a dragon in a future Elder Scrolls game. It would be comical. In order to remain competitive and engaging, these studios and these developers need to innovate and evolve on both new and existing ideas. And to be quite frank, I don't think it would be in Bethesda's nature to simply say, okay, here's Skyrim 2.0, we're launching it as tests. I don't think that they're very good at pushing their games forward. I will give them that. Now, I did use the word innovate, and I don't want people to get confused and think that I'm saying adding boats is innovative. It's been done all over the place in the gaming industry as a whole. We've seen it in Assassin's Creed, we have it in The Witcher. Hell, Sea of Thieves revolves around the concept of sailing a boat. But for Bethesda Game Studios, in a title such as Elder Scrolls 6, and the fan base that surrounds the Elder Scrolls franchise, having a sailable ship would be a pretty big step in a brand new direction, something that fans of the series have not seen before. But the bigger question, as I've been sort of trying to stress in this video, is not can we add boats to Elder Scrolls, or ships to Starfield for that matter, but does it add a meaningful experience, or does it add meaningful value to the game? Or is it just simply a cool idea? For example, The Witcher 3 provided boats, and these served as a meaningful way to be able to get around the map without needing to abuse fast travel. This was largely because of the way the map was designed. There were lots of canals and there were rivers and things that you'd want to sail through to get from one side to the other. It was also a very big and expansive map with lots of open space in between in order to get from point A to point B. I think it's also worth mentioning that the boats in The Witcher served absolutely no purpose other than transportation to get you from one spot to the other, from one side of the river to the other side. That's all they did. There was no combat, there was no special sailing, there was no multiple speeds based on how you position the sails. It moved in a direction to get you somewhere. If we take a look at Starfield, the role that a ship would fill is a bit more obvious. A spaceship to travel through, well, space. But contrary to a game like The Witcher or even Sea of Thieves, where there's plenty of places to stop and almost always a new place in sight, space is vastly empty, and it's devoid of plenty of places to explore. Unless you're piloting through a mass of empty space seems entertaining to some people, it might be best not to give players a player-controlled vehicle. This is exactly what No Man's Sky does. You can fly your ship through the atmosphere. It's really, really cool. You can go around the whole planet, which is neat on paper, but then you just end up hitting the spacebar or whatever key to warp to the next planet. There's nothing in between besides emptiness and maybe a space station, and maybe you might come across a traveling fleet. Now, for a game like No Man's Sky that's about survival and resource management, that makes sense. Does this add value to Starfield or Elder Scrolls if it were just boats? You tell me. To go back to Elder Scrolls 6, and since the settings are presumed to be either High Rock or Hammerfell, these coastal provinces, having a boat is more plausible, and especially if it takes place in both, which I have speculated in the past. You can go check out those videos if you're interested. Being able to sail across the Lilac Bay on your own would be cool, and it would add a layer of immersion to the experience. I think instead of having to just teleport or fast travel, if the boats serve the same way that The Witcher did, where you just hop on, sail across, and then you're there, it would work. But I don't know if it's absolutely necessary. Anyway, this is just food for thought. I wanted to try and challenge the ideas of people who are both looking forward to and against the inclusion of vehicles in either Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6. But I would love to hear what all of you have to say. Let me know down in the comments section below. I hope to see you all next time. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like. It helps other sailors and adventurers find our little seaport here. And be sure to check out our Twitter as well as community Discord down in the description below. And your support means everything.